when it comes to writing an album, the thing is I don't really sit down to write an album. I got a catalog of songs, it's over 200, and we kind of start from there and whittle them down and find out which songs really tell the next chapter and tell the story. And you know, we whittle them down and get them to around 15, and then we whittle them down some more, and then we may cut 15 and use 11 or 12, or you know, however that works. But anything we cut ends up getting used somehow if I don't leak it accidentally, like I did 2 of the songs on the record. Got a little bit of trouble for that. I recorded because it was so much fun to write. And Brett James brought it out. It was already it was an idea that he and Justin Weaver had started. And I was lucky enough to join up in on it and put my spin and make it my story. And man, Brett and Justin both just insane writers, really good writers. And you know, the song was kind of undeniable. It was a lot of fun just singing. It got stuck in my head, and I played it for a few people, got stuck in their heads. I was like, you know, we might be onto something. I don't know enough about country radio to tell when I write a #1 or a hit song. You know, we don't have rules. We just sit down and write a song and hope for the best. I rely on people, you know, at the label and in radio to, you know, kind of direct on what works and what doesn't. But, you know, I just did my thing, and that one was kind of straight ahead. It was easy to be me on that one. The whole video concept came from an idea, a conversation between my manager and I and Scott Borchetta and his wife Sandy on a plane flight. We were going to play a race, and teamed up with Shane Drake, and he, you know, brought all those ideas to life and added some flavor of his own. He's always a joy to work with, man. That dude's so intense. But yeah, the Bonnie and Clyde story, I've always been a fan of. That's how I want to go out, man. Find me a little, you know, sidekick and go out to blaze of glory. I mean, I don't know if we got to rob banks and all, but that might be kind of fun, be an adrenaline rush, right? It's definitely against the law. I don't know, we may give it a shot. The whole record defines where I'm at musically. It's from one side of the spectrum to the other. I think it shows, you know, kind of relatively how bipolar I really am. And I'm a Sour Patch Kid, like, you know, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type thing. So it's got a little bit of both worlds in there. It's got my kind of outspoken, edgy side, and then what folks call my soft side. So I do have one of those. I just don't let it out of the bag that often. You know, I got the bad boy thing going on. I'm not real sure what I did that was so bad. Well, actually, yeah, I do. But that was a long time ago. I'm you know, rehabilitated, I like to think, for the most part. But no, I mean, I guess there's some things that maybe edgy, that kind of, you know, there's a lot of terms that come across. People ask me if it's an image. You know, I have tattoos, I wear rings and chains and stuff, and I ride motorcycles, and a lot of my friends can look like some unsavory characters, but at the end of the day, you can't ask for better brothers. And you know, after a while, people said it so much, it was like, you know what? We'll give it to them. If you want Bad Boy, baby, you got it. I wrote it before my last relationship, and I was wide open, and you know, just kind of the edgy side, like some of the stuff I do, like I'll take off on a motorcycle, I may be gone for 2 days, and you know, I like to do things kind of spur of the moment, and you know, there was a girlfriend of mine that kind of did everything by the book, and she went away to college for a minute. She came back home, she was living with her folks, and the second verse talks about sneaking a girl out of the house. It says, girl, your mom and daddy ain't got to know. I'm not a 29-year-old creeper. This girl lived at home, she was 24, so it doesn't count. But no, it was kind of just a straightforward song about, you know, here it is, let's go have a good time, kind of on the wrong side of the tracks thing. You know, I spend a little bit of time over there and I enjoy it. There's things in every genre, and everything I've ever heard has been an influence. It may have influenced me or motivated me to never do anything like it, but you know, you never know if it's a positive or negative influence. And you know, there's I don't know where a lot of influences, I can't put my finger on them exactly. It's just, you know, I sit down to write a song and kind of just comes out, you know. And, you know, I never sit down to write a country song or a rock song or a rap song. I'm a country dude, and I just sit down and write how I write, and whatever comes out, it's the end product, and we run with it. Greg Allman said that, you know, rock was kind of established in the South, so saying Southern rock's kind of like saying rock. And I grew up around it, yeah, and I listen to a little bit of everything, but of course it's deep-seated in my roots. But yeah, man, Skinner, are you kidding me? Still listen to that record every day. You learn something every night, and I've had the opportunity and the pleasure of touring with, you know, a lot of guys that have been in the game for a long time. And, you know, and even the new guys getting out there with them, you know, everybody's doing something that you can pick on. You can learn from something anytime you watch somebody play a set. I mean, you learn something, you know, every song you play in front of people. You know, you learn to read reactions and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I'll put the same show on for 30,000 people that I would 10. I've been like that since I started. You know, we'd go into a market and there may be 5 people there in hopes that those 5 people tell everybody how, you know, how much fun it was, how much fun you had on stage. And you know, you may come back and play for 50, and then before you know it, you're selling it out, and you actually can afford to get there and back instead of having to sell a car, then going back to buy it back, and the guy asking for $28,000 instead of the 4 you sold it to him for. That's another story for another day, but you can tell I'm still got a chip on my shoulder about that. I'd love to stomp that dude's ass. Okay, next. Let It Ride was kind of a real intimate song about a real situation that happened. It was just a moment. It was a couple hours, and it was a moment that kind of stuck with me. And visually and emotionally and like physically, I could feel it every time I, you know, put a word down for the song. So it was, you know, I had a big emotional connection to that one. It was just kind of, it fell out. You know, I just kind of restated, you know, what was visually going on and how I remembered it. And as far as Grown Ass Man, there's a lot said in that song. A lot that I've kind of wanted to say for quite a while and didn't really, you know, have the words for it. Just towards a lot of people in the beginning in the business that necessarily didn't get it yet. And, you know, now that we're at a point where I can really do what I've always wanted to do and kind of do my thing with no rules or regulations. And, you know, I'm blessed enough to have a label that believes in what I do, and they kind of let me do my thing. And, nobody's asked me to wear skinny jeans or nothing yet, so I'm pretty happy about that.